chinisha. It's independent. Content creator.
Baby, you can be whoever you want. I tell you that the world is yours, it's not mine.
Can I promise diamond pearls is good vibes? I just know you really want a good time. Welcome to my city, this is how we say hi.
Welcome to my city. All the girls are pretty. Welcome to my city. All the girls are pretty. Welcome to my city.
The sounds of your homeboys, Kid from Kigali and the Dice Kid with Muraho. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning as you wake up with us. It's Jesse and Juliana. Today is Wednesday. You know, it's Money Matters Wednesday. Somebody was already asking on X, would you guys have Isaac? We said, of course, it's Wednesday. He has to be here. But then I have found something else on the internet. Somebody is saying that the worst type of people are those who communicate their anger by silence and distance. How true is that?
I fear them personally.
You fear people who communicate by silence and anger?
Yeah, I do.
There's
I would
a man,
actually fear you a lot.
There's a man who responded by asking a question. So you want to anger me, and then I invite you for dinner to communicate that I am.
Air out your anger, your grievances.
Pains.
Because for me, anyway, I believe in dialogue and I believe in talking. I don't believe in holding back things. And by that, when I talk, it feels better.
So your duty is to anger people and wait on them to communicate that they are responding.
Maybe I just want to rub you the wrong way so that I can hear from you. How about that? Just testing the waters.
Some people, anger, silence, distance, yeah, and that's how they communicate.
But also, you'll have to fear people who keep quiet and anger. Those kind of people are tough. You have no idea what is inside them. You know, you have no idea what they're planning for you.
What
so
is inside them is emotions
scary.
boiling up.
So please air out your emotions. Bring them out. It's better. It's healing. Guys, don't keep in things inside you. It's very scary. You will burst at some point. No, when you keep things inside you, you're likely to just, burst out of this anger and things that you're keeping inside. So you better have to actually bring them out.
Let's get back to Let's Talk Kigali. At this time, we are asking, what is that one decision you've made that completely changed the direction of your life for better or for worse? We want to look at some of your responses here. Diane, she's in Kachir. She says, quitting a stable job to start my own baking business. I was scared, broke, and judged. But now I run a growing kitchen with 2 employees. Isn't that amazing, huh?
It is.
Big
it takes
decision.
a lot of courage.
Yeah. Do you know how many times I thought I should get out of employment and then feared and walked in back, walked away, walked in back?
You're speaking to the biggest victim. I have walked away. I have done business. Then I've come back to employment.
That's a good thing to just be your own employer. That's a good thing.
It is. I still believe I will still do it.
Everyone needs to make that risk at one point.
It is to do. It's very good. It teaches you. You learn a few things. You get burnt. You come back. Then you know next time what to avoid to get burnt. So it's a good thing, I think.
Eric says, saying yes to therapy. I didn't know how heavy I was carrying things until I started unpacking, and that saved my relationship. Okay. I think to some people, you need therapy to save your own relationship.
Yeah. Do you think you need therapy?
Who, me? For what?
To save to save a relationship. Therapy is good, Jesse. You need therapy.
I need therapy to save myself.
Yourself, not a relationship. It starts with you saving yourself.
I don't
That's
need
a good
therapy
thing.
To save a relationship.
No, it starts with you saving yourself.
A relationship I will save.
You will save yourself. But you won't save that relationship if you don't save yourself first. So that's a good idea. You need therapy to save yourself first. Find yourself, they say. Then you'll find others. Does that make sense?
Let's go down to Clementine, who says, I walked away from a 14-year marriage. It broke me, but it also gave me back to myself. Ladies and gentlemen, 14 years walking with a ring on your finger.
It's a long
And then you have to submit it back and say, listen, I'm done.
But it takes a lot. I must kudos to that lady. It takes a lot of courage to actually do that. Even if it's a 7-year, even if it's a 5-year relationship, it's a lot of years wasted, you could say. Probably.
Wasted?
You
have children,
if
and you're
you
saying
are-
it's wasted?
I'm just saying, if you must find
You're
them
taking a
wasted, there are those who
50-50
come out
at
of
departure.
there are
Is it
those who are
wasted?
coming out of it without children, Jesse. So what
14
we call
years
us,
without children.
it's very possible.
14 years, you never made any money.
Even 20
no
years
savings in the bank.
in a marriage,
No
you might
assets.
you might come out
14
with nothing.
years.
Yes, even 20 years. It's
Even
very
better to
possible.
walk away at 2.
So you're not sure at that time. At that time, at
You
2,
think things will get better.
exactly. So, but also the fact that you walked away from that relationship, it takes a lot of courage.
14.
And you need a lot of mental support. And I hope you heal one day. It takes a lot. I must have respect for everyone who gets out of those relationships. Those are very many years in there.
14 years of marriage. Big decision to make. We're asking,
Because you
what
know
is
what?
that one decision you've made that changed your life for worse or for better?
You know what, Jesse? After 14 years, this is what that's why people stay in abusive marriages. This is what they tell themselves. Where am I going after 14 years? Who is going to look at me again?
I got 4 kids in this marriage.
Let me just die in this relationship. I have nothing. I can, that's why you people are ending up in very, very toxic marriages, and it ends up really bad because you look at the time you've spent there. You're like, I'm going anywhere.
I mean, if you compromise to stay, let's say you have this home on 10 acres, you can go and live on 5, and your husband or your wife stays on the other 5.
That is if your significant other allows that. Sometimes they don't want to see you completely.
I mean, 5 acres I can hide.
No, I mean they just don't want to smell you anywhere close to them. And some people are very, very, very greedy in relationships.
That's harsh.
He wants, probably he or she wants everything to herself.
We have somebody here. Patrick says he invested all his savings in crypto in 2021, then watched it crash. Lesson learned the hard way. Research first and then hype later.
I told you, you get there, you get burnt, you come out. You would thank God you came out alive.
But you guys,
You didn't burn completely.
you know, I've made these funny mistakes.
Of crypto.
Yesterday, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and he told me, Jesse, let me tell you, my brother, count it a loss. I was
And move
asking,
on.
I was asking him to intervene in my situation. He asked me, how much money are we talking about? Yeah, I told him it's about 35 million. I said, do you have documents? I said, not yet, I don't have documents. But I said, no, count it loss. I said, man, I called you for advice. He says, yes, and this
It's
is what
the
I'm
bitter
telling you.
truth they were telling
count
you.
it loss.
It's because it's not what you wanted to hear. So it was very painful for you to hear. However, I've had that statement before.
No
it was
research,
very
just
painful. It was very painful for me to hear that. But the person was telling me the truth. They told me, count your losses and close shop, man. I'm like, but how? But exactly that. That's what they said. So it's the bitter truth.
Jado says, the biggest move that I have made that has changed my life for better was moving back to Rwanda from the UK. Everyone at first said it was a downgrade, but I found my purpose here, no regrets.
Good for you, bro. Home is always home.
Yeah, when you
Home
people
feels
return
good.
from wherever, you think it's a downgrade just
It is
because
not actually.
because you came from Katuna. You think coming to Rwanda is a downgrade.
But first, wait. What a conversion. Really?
You're returning from Burundi. That people are saying it's a downgrade. So you
See-
went to Canada 7 years. You had no significant job. You were just sweeping in a restaurant.
You're loitering and
You've
living
returned to Rwanda.
a miserable life
You think
with
it's
no
a
papers.
downgrade.
And you're resigning home and you think it's
Come
a
back,
downgrade.
live
It's
with
not.
your
And come
parents.
back and live in peace. Why do you have to live hiding? People are living hiding in those countries, man, because they don't have papers yet. So they keep hiding. It's like, it's a terrible life. I don't think I can. The way I like walking on the streets freely, and then you start telling me to live in hiding, because you're doing jobs and your money is going through someone else's account. What kind of life is that?
Louise says the biggest decision I've ever made was going back to school in my 40s. My kids
Well
were
done.
shocked. Now we compete on who gets the better grades.
It's a good thing, isn't it? Just you should go back to school.
Another interesting one from Cedric. Cedric, who says the biggest decision was to forgive my father. It wasn't for him, it was for me. That's one decision that unlocked years of bitterness.
Wow, it's a big decision.
I've watched a couple of stories of people forgiving their
Have
fathers.
you watched the Jay-Z one, which came out yesterday? The internet was awash. I can see it's still trending here.
I think I've watched for Usher, but Jay's not yet.
Yesterday, he came out and explained his story and why. I mean, I think it was in a show with Kevin Hart. Yeah. And he told his story about him and his father and why he forgave his father in the last hour, his last few hours left for him to die, because he realized he needed to forgive himself as well. Because his father walked away from their life when he was 11 years. And he never saw him again. He just saw him recently, about 2003, yes, when he was on his dying bed.
So many stories. There's one of Tyrese. You saw him deliver flowers to the father because
Yeah,
the father apparently is so sick.
He has cancer. He's battling like.
Then there was
terminal.
Asha, who was crying and saying, I forgive my dad. Now Jay-Z.
Asha had to pull the plug. He was the one to pull the final plug of his dad.
Yeah. Oh,
When the man you haven't lived with for all your life, and then they asked you, he gives you responsibility like, my son will be the one to pull the plug.
man,
What?
it's a
So
privilege. If you live in a complete home, it's such a privilege.
It is.
Such a privilege. 23 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning. Sons of Benson Bourne. This is Mystical Magic.
In your shoulder when you're dragging me along like you do.